Hi, I'm Chris from LociLabs. In this video, I'm going to be walking through our contact tracing dashboard. In previous videos, I've introduced you to our hardware, so the SafeSpace watch and the SafeSpace badge. As previously explained, every time we have a contact event, we record details of it. And then via our access point, which I'll be covering in a separate video, we extract that data wirelessly and make it available on our cloud platform. So with no further ado, I'm going to dive onto the platform now and show you the functionality.
Log in now. Okay. Right, so we can see at the very top of the login, there's a banner at the top here. So this shows the live COVID-19 stats for the UK. So we take this via the government API, so this is updated on a very regular basis. But obviously we can amend this for your specific region if you're not UK based. So I'll go ahead and collapse that for the time being out of the way. Obviously you can see my face over here just lets me know that it's me that's logged in. On the left hand side we have three different tabs. So dashboard, which is obviously what we're looking at the moment. We've got employees, which is used for the assignment of a specific device to a person. Or a unique identifier, or however you want to assign it to somebody. Users, so this is for access management, so login credential management basically. So of these three, I'm actually logged in as an administrator at the moment, so I've got the ability to assign a specific device to a person, and I've also got the ability to add new users, like for login credentials. A standard user who's not an admin would only have access to the dashboard, so they could run reports, but they wouldn't be able to do either of these other two, but I'll take you through those shortly. At the top of the page, we've got 5 interactive graphs here. If I just scroll down slightly, you'll notice here that the period we're currently looking at is 14 days. So by default, we're 14 days because that's the asymptomatic period for coronavirus, but you have got the ability to amend this. So if I change to today, obviously you'll notice this graph here has changed, and obviously these have as well as a high risk category. And I'll cover these in more detail shortly. But it's completely interactive. Okay, so we'll go back to 14 days for the time being. So within that 14-day period, so the last 14 days, we've generated a total of 255 alarms. They were generated by 16 devices, so 16 tags. The average alarm time was 3.74 seconds. The average contact distance was 87 centimeters, and the total exposure time was 16, or just shy of 16 minutes. Immediately underneath this, we can see this high risk section. Now this ranks users based on the amount of UIDs they've come into contact with, which I'll explain shortly, the amount of alarms generated and total exposure time. So from that we build a risk profile, and obviously that's based on more people coming into contact. So if a single person comes into contact with a lot of people for a lot of exposure time and obviously generating a lot of alarms, obviously they're going to be high risk if they were diagnosed with coronavirus. So employee tag, obviously we've got Adam Johnson here. His tag ID is 36676, and that is based on the serial number of the device, which I've shown on previous other videos. UID, so this is a unique identifier. That basically shows that Adam has come into contact with 5 different devices, obviously not his own, but he's come into contact with 5 other people. He's generated 145 alarms, and the total exposure time was 7 minutes and 37 seconds. Obviously I'm the next one down on here, so 5 UIDs, 38 alarms, and the total exposure time of 1 minute 16 seconds. On the left hand side here, we've got the logical representation for what those contacts actually look like. So based on the size of the circle, you notice some are bigger than others. Is scaled based on the amount of UIDs, or the amount of people they're coming into contact with. So as you can see, there's 2 bubbles which are bigger than others. So 52188 has got 5 UIDs. So 52188 has come into contact with 5 different people, and you'll notice over here 52188 is me. I've come into contact with 5 people within that 14-day period, etc., as we just discussed. And obviously you can look at all the different contacts in here as well. Ideally what you want to see is like isolated instances of people connecting, rather than a big group like this, which obviously shows that your social distancing probably isn't working as it should do. If I scroll down slightly, again, obviously it's looking at a 14-day period, but if I amend this, this will scale as well. So we can see we've had 265 total entries within that period. So there's 10 pages of records in here currently. We've got employee, distance, contacted, duration, and timestamp. So employee, Lee Karen. This is a device ID, so a piece of hardware that she's wearing. The distance of that event, so 55 centimeters, and she came into contact with Eve Willow for 10 seconds, and the timestamp again here. And obviously we capture all the records in that instance. Now, obviously you can export this if you wanted to look at running reports yourself on specifically like what was happening, but ultimately this is for contact tracing. So in the event that unfortunately myself, so Chris Stretton, has been identified with coronavirus, I can do a search of myself. Obviously, again, you'll see every record has me in here now. So 39 entries total with me involved. And then I've got the ability to then export this directly to CSV, Excel, or PDF as a download. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to export to Excel. Obviously, you see the download just in the bottom left-hand corner. Let's open that up. And then we've got everyone I've come into contact with. Now you'll notice some of these are unassigned, and that means that basically, obviously from a management perspective, the device hasn't actually been assigned to a specific user or a wearer of that device. But obviously, it completely depends how you plan to manage this within the workplace, the assignment elements of it. So let's go back up, and I'll show you how you actually assign someone. So in the Employees tab here. So here we'll notice, obviously I can add an image to someone, their name, surname, and their tag ID. So this is the device or the serial number of the piece of hardware. So let's go ahead and add someone in. So let's add a Joe Bloggs in here. And he's going to have device ID 123455. Submit. Employee created successfully. You'll notice at the top right hand corner there very briefly. So if I now search for Joe Bloggs in here, obviously here he is, here's his tag ID. Obviously I could have added an image for him as well. So I'll delete that out of there for the time being. Yes, delete it. Now if I tried to assign a new user to a device that already existed, so in this instance 52396, let's try and add Joe Bloggs to that specific device. So 52396. When I submit that, it'll tell me the tag ID has already been taken, in which case I'll need to search for that ID and edit it. Now, if I go to users, like I say, this is the login credentials for creating a new admin or general user. So obviously name, surname, whether they're an admin or a standard user, login details, email, and their respective password. Okay, I think that about covers the demo. If you like a more in-depth talk or walk through the platform, then we can certainly arrange it. I'd recommend visiting our website at www.LociLabs.co.uk, or you can drop us an email at safespace@LociLabs.co.uk. Thank you very much.